On an all-new Downright Sports, I talk about the last baseball season. I talk about this coming season, all the off-season moves. I pick 4 teams you should watch out for. And in the third segment, I play the commissioner and I help fix the game. Hey, so this is a brand new Downright Sports. Play ball. Welcome everybody, it is Showtime. Welcome everyone to an all-new Downright Sports. It's the first time you've ever seen this show. This is a sports internet viral show from a fan's perspective. So it's just my thoughts, a little bit of facts, a lot of my thoughts. So don't judge me. If you got a problem with it, take it up with somebody that's going to listen. Because I'm not. I don't have time. Anyway, today's show is the baseball preview show. And we're going to kick the show off. We're going to try to move as rapid because the one thing about baseball, it is slow. My shirt came unbuttoned. Woo. Anyway, last year the league saw winners and losers. And some of the winners, in a very big way, last year the Boston Red Sox won the World Series again. They have shown the 21st century has no curse for them. As much as I hate to say that, the Red Sox won the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went back to the World Series after losing to the Houston Astros just the year before. The Red Sox would get more hardware as Mookie Betts proved not only is he one of the best right fielders, he was the best all-around player last year as Mookie won the MVP for the Red Sox. It's the first Red Sox MVP award since Dustin Pedroia won it. I want to say in 2008 or 2007, something like that, 2009 or something like that. From the National League side of it, the Cubs went from being big timers to being kicked out in the one-game playoff for the division. The Cubs found themselves losing to the Milwaukee Brewers, who are the young upstart. Why is that important? Because the Brewers had an MVP on their team. I want to say it's the first since can't think of his name right now. Prince Fielder, Christian Yelich, who was traded from the Miami Marlins to the Milwaukee Brewers, would win the MVP. The Brewers, unfortunately, would lose in the National League Championship Series to the Dodgers, thus the Dodgers going to the World Series. Another team that kind of surprised a lot of people was the Atlanta Braves. The Braves found themselves winning the NL East Division over the favorite Washington Nationals. The Nationals made a managerial change. The Braves just got younger with a little bit of influx of youth and age with some veterans on that team, making them win 90 games, winning that NL East for the first time in a while. Unfortunately, they would lose in the first round. And then from the back to the American League, another team that kind of surprised everybody, the Oakland A's. For the first time, they did not unload a bunch of key players. Chris Davis, Chris with a K, not a C because it's a Chris Davis that plays for the Orioles, led the league in home runs this past season. They also have a great third baseman. The A's have a young flux of youth and talent, and this year could be one of the all-around favorites to repeat again and win it. We'll talk about that in the next half. And then a couple of Cy Young Award winners. Jacob deGrom of the New York Mets would win the Cy Young. The guy couldn't get a win to save his life, but when he pitched, he was unhittable. And then from the American League side, the Rays, who kind of surprised everybody, the Rays won 90 games. The AL, wrap this up, the AL East had 3 teams with over 90 wins. 2 of them had 100 wins. That was the Red Sox and the Yankees. But it was Blake Snell who will win the American League Cy Young for the American League and represented the A's, especially a tough team because the A's are starting a new thing where they're having, instead of having they're starting relief pitchers versus having a set starter. So it's kind of interesting. When we come back, we go to segment 2. We talk about this upcoming season. I picked 4 teams you should watch, and I talk about some off-season moves. Hey, this is Downright Sports. Welcome back, everybody, to segment number 2. This is the baseball preview show. For some reason, if you're skipping through the show, just trying to help you out. Anyway, the third baseman of the Oakland A's I couldn't think of is Matt Chapman. The guy is a bona fide defensive global machine. You hit that ball down that line, that guy makes a play. Speaking of third baseman, breaking news from yesterday, Nolan Ariella of the Colorado Rockies, the young standout third baseman that makes people think of Brooks Robinson and even Manny Machado, just got a contract yesterday. He signed a $260 million deal for the next 8 years. It's the biggest contract for a player to stay on the same team. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to the Colorado Rockies for not letting a key player go into free agency. With that being said, this offseason has had a lot of twists and turns. The 2 big names coming up this offseason were Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, which everybody thought would not be on the market as long as they have been. Manny Machado just signed with the San Diego Padres, a team nobody saw coming. Last week, he signed a $300 million contract, the biggest free agency contract in North American sports. And now it leaves Bryce Harper out there and wondering who will sign Bryce. Bryce, his agent is Scott Boras, and it is said that Bryce Harper wants the bigger contract, or Scott Boras wants him to get the bigger contract. We are to understand that either the Phillies or the Dodgers are currently the front runners for Bryce Harper. I wish the Yankees would get him, but doesn't seem it's going to happen. And there are plenty of other free agents still out there. Dallas Keuchel's still out there, a Cy Young pitcher, a Gold Glove center fielder, and Adam Jones is still available. There are plenty of key players that are still available that nobody knows what to do, because so many teams are going youth focused. The Cubs kind of started this a few years ago, building with your farm system and signing key free agent players, no longer giving those huge contracts. With that being said, which teams to watch out for are the 4 teams I picked that you should need to watch for. The San Diego Padres, the New York Mets, the Phillies, and the Rays. I'll start with the Rays because I said them last. Last year, the Rays won 90 games, and they did it with a group of guys nobody's ever heard of. They still continue to do it with a group of guys nobody's ever heard of. If you look at what the Tampa Bay Rays kind of did last season, as from a just a standpoint of basically their batting average as a team, they batted .258. The pitching is where they changed everything. And the crazy thing is, these guys traded away one of their key players in Chris Archer to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they just went straight to, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to use our bullpen as starters. Every inning, we're going to have a new pitcher. And now you have to, as a offense, have to adapt, because every inning you're going to see a different pitcher. It's going to be kind of hard to do. So the question is, will the Rays rise to the top and continue this, or will they sink to the bottom? Another team to watch out for is the New York Mets. The Mets made a splashy offseason move where they traded for Robinson Cano. They went and got some other key players on their team. I wrote it down. They went and re-signed their old closer in Familia. They traded him to the A's last year. He was a free agent this year. The Mets went back out and got him. They missed him. Oh, did they miss him? They also signed Jared Larry, a very good veteran infielder. Guy can play multiple positions. The Mets are looking, and then the Mets' nucleus of what they already have, they're looking to fuse that with that great pitching, and they're trying to put some offense behind that great pitching. So, will the Mets do like the Atlanta Braves to shock everybody, or will they be a wild card team, or will the Mets continue to suck as the Mets do and let everybody down? By getting Robinson Cano, the Mets continue, like the New York Knicks, to get aging players that no longer can play and just finish out their years making a lot of coin. The other team you want to watch out for are the Phillies. The Phillies made a big splash when they traded for all-star catcher from the Miami Marlins, and some say the best catcher in all of baseball, JT Romero. This guy is bona fide box office. The question is, he was box office on a bad team. Will he be good with the Phillies when there's expectations involved? And then on top of that, the Phillies also signed David Robinson, a very good relief pitcher. He pitched for the Yankees, had great years with the Yankees and with the White Sox. And then they went after Andrew McCutchen, who's a former MVP and knows a lot about playing in Pennsylvania. Is this just the time McCutchen needs to kind of get himself rejuvenated? He played with the Yanks last year towards the end of the year, and that could have been enough to spark up here to get him going again. And then if they could get Bryce Harper, that's a game changer completely, especially in that fan box that they play in Philadelphia. The last thing you want to watch are the San Diego Padres. Did the Padres just sign a guy who just wanted money versus winning? The Padres last year made a splashy deal signing Eric Hosmer for a lot of coin, like $100 million for 8 years, and they still sucked last year. The Padres have not been good for a very, very long time. In fact, last year the Padres finished last in the West. There's a lot now is to say that the Padres have a great farm system ahead of them, but is Manny Machado enough to get them turned around? The Arizona Diamondbacks have known to be better than them. The Colorado Rockies are better than them. And the Los Angeles Dodgers have been the kings of that National League West for a long time. So, basically, the reason why the Padres are to watch, because this could be the worst team in baseball again, and just gave the guy the most money to absolutely do nothing. And that's going to be really bad. Or will the bottom rise to the top? Or as Macho Man said, the cream. So we have to see. I'm not going to pick here because it's too early to pick a World Series winner or loser. I'll do that before the season starts. But you need to watch the Padres. You need to watch the Mets. You need to watch the Phillies. You need to watch the Rays as the must-watch teams and what they're going to do this year. I think that's where the storylines will come ahead. I went too long in this segment. When we come back, we wrap the show up. I play commissioner. This one will be quick. Downright Sports. All right, welcome to segment 3. We wrap the show up, or as I like to call segment 3, the post game. We're going to wrap the show up today where I have a little fun. I play the commissioner of baseball. I kind of like doing this in my last segments where I either play the general manager or I play the commissioner. I think it's kind of fun. Anyway, baseball has an issue. The issue is people think the game is too slow or too long, rather. Some baseball games last 3 hours. I don't care because I love the game of baseball, and nobody says anything when a college football game lasts equally as long when it's Northern Illinois versus Toledo. Who cares? Some of them games is really long. But because it's football, everybody kisses the ring. But when it comes to baseball, a sport built on pace, people seem to want to find a way to change the game. Fair enough. So, what I've decided to do is play commissioner and come up with some clever ways that the game can get better and people won't even think about the pace of the game. Number one, let's get a little bit younger. The problem is the game has a lot of youth, but they play like they're old. Nobody, for some strange reason, the game of baseball has changed in a weird way. There's a warped way in everybody thinking that the game of baseball was always played as gentlemen went out with their shirts and ties, we shook hands, and bully, we had a game of baseball. Nobody knows that. Nobody for some reason remembers that guys used to do bat flips, guys used to taunt each other. Ozzie Smith used to do backflips before he entered a ball game. This guy was a Hall of Fame shortstop. Nobody thinks of the flamboyance of players of the past. Willie Mays used to purposely flip his cap off to make a catch to make it look like he was going faster. We need that in baseball. They need something to drum up life. You need the bat flips. You need cool cleats. You need walkout music to be a little bit louder. Let's let the walkout music be heard during the live telecast. The heck with just being in the ballpark. Let's let it be heard during the telecast. A lot of these guys listen to hip hop. That stuff is heard on the telecast. Kids will be more inclined to hear it. It's kind of like entrance music. Let's make that more exciting. Enough with these unwritten rules. Let's stop that. Let's stop because if I hit crush a home run off you and I choose to flip the bat and give myself a nice pace around the base, guess what? Hey, let it happen. If I beat you, let it happen. Everybody that plays baseball, I'm sure watches the NBA. When a guy dunks on another guy and he looks at him or points at him, that guy that got dunked on doesn't get up and start swinging. He knows what happened. He is now a poster. Live with it. Come on, get rid of all this unwritten stuff. All right, let's have more fun. Have pyro. Let's have, in the old Shea Stadium, it used to have a Latin feel to it. It was small, but when the Mets used when the Mets was up, you would hear like sound effects. People, it was cool. We need that. Enough of this tennis-like feel. Bravo, bravo! He hits a home run. Everybody sit. Enough. As Uncle Buddha would say, get rid of the white gloves. All right? And then, it's a 162 game season. Nobody's going to be interested from the first day to the last day, unlike a loyal fan. Loyal fans will, all right? But baseball needs to start stealing something from the NFL and from the WWE. You need storylines, real storylines, juicy storylines. Which player hates his organization? Which guy hates his teammate? Just spark up stuff, make stuff up, make a 162 game season feel like a 32 game season. Put storylines involved. Is there a guy coming back from a drug addiction? This guy was on steroids and he's trying to make himself back. Maybe a guy's wife cheated on him. Something where people, I know what you're saying, you're turning the game into a joke. No, I'm not. I'm turning the game into what it is. A television show that needs to be, and when it's a television show, ladies and gentlemen, it needs to be entertaining. Yes. What is that word I just said? Entertainment. People want to be entertained. People don't give a rat's behind about a pitch clock. They just want to be entertained. If we're going to sit for 3 hours, entertain me for 3 hours. I'm going to wrap the show up with this. WWE's flagship show is called Monday Night Raw. It is on for 3 hours. Most people don't complain because they're entertained for 3 hours. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll go ahead and subscribe at the bottom. Hit the button. Subscribe. If you're watching, subscribe. Thank you. Go to Twitter. Hit me up at BrentReed18. Also, check out these other channels. If you like this one, go to DJ Chase's channel. Some of the most incredible beats you've ever heard before. Also, if you love your family, you love getting out, you want to know the top 10 best roller coasters to ride, go to OK Roller Coasters. My man, OK, Mr. Brad Sean is out there. He's doing the best documentarian that nobody's heard of before. Yes, he's out there. Some of the music you heard today was by Myke. And the theme song, the new theme song of the show is by Uncle Buddha. That's right. You got more questions? Hit me up at Twitter. Everybody, thanks for watching. Orlando, I promise, no more LeBron James bashing, okay? We're just starting the Redskins. Deuces, everybody.